Hey everybody, we're back. Thanks for that. Let's get back into the action. So tea has been made.
Yeah. So what's your plan there?
Well, I had hoped to return back to Miven in order to expand my interests there, but it seems as if the world needs me. With these troubling reports of walking dead in Regarvian lands, and the revelation that if Chorgol has been replacing himself and has no children, that would mean that the king is no true king. He has no claim to the throne. Correct? And indeed, it's strange that he has not taken the surname Rogarvia and has continued to use the surname Sertova. So my plan is, under the guise of returning to Rogarvia to investigate and deal with this undead infestation, I will begin gathering the houses of Rogarvia to occupy the capital of Brevoy.
There's no doubt, based on the findings that Mason poured over and showed to us, there's no doubt that Nikolai Sertova is not Rogarvian. There's also no doubt that there are children of Chorgol. They are
And
just
yet,
dragons.
I find such classifications meaningless. If you must lie to a people to rule over them for 200 years, if you are not human in a human land, these children are not declared. No one proclaimed them in the middle of the court saying they have been born and they are rightful heirs. This is all lies and witchcraft and magic. Things moving behind the scenes where men cannot see. We must bring the light of Abadar and civilization back to Brevoy. It is clear now the stagnation of our culture is the sickness of these dragons.
So you would know that to not be the case, right, Sam, based on the information you were given?
What, that the stagnation is because of...
Oh, no, about the legitimacy of the children, right? They were declared for. These are the children who vanished during the vanishing.
I mean, my understanding is that doesn't really change what AP is saying, because they were declared as being children of Chorgol and other members of the court, which they most certainly weren't.
I feel like we're confused here. So the children are completely Sertovan.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Nalesky and Natala are Sotovan.
Yes.
The heirs of there is no contesting the legitimacy of the heirs of the throne, right? Like that is ironclad. So I think that is what was like.
In order
in
for them to
question.
be heirs, they would need to be declared. Like
Yes.
literally, someone would need to read out a declaration and be like, "You're the heirs." Someone did that for Nikolai, which he is not. I mean, he's definitely, absolutely, indisputably not that thing.
No. What I'm saying is, like, as per what Eric has told us, the children, and I'm saying this mostly in relation to my own character because they're the only one that's still there. Right, the others were part of the vanishing, but the Rogarvian children, legitimate children, vanished, and Mason is also one such. Oh, Ceres Rogarvia is one such child, but didn't.
I mean, I think that like, it's not, first off, I'm not saying anything because Sulius Aurelius still is trying to keep this facade up. And secondly, I think there's some argument on what legitimacy is, because if you have Chorgol the Conqueror married to whatever her name was, Sertova, and they're saying, oh, these are our children, that makes them legitimate. Well, technically they're bastards. I mean, they are born out of wedlock.
Yep. So anyway, Swan doesn't know any of that other shit and only knows what he knows right now, which is that a bunch of magical dragons have infiltrated his country and fucked everything up for 200 years. Correct. And now he's going to go strike back.
Magical dragons founded your country.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
Yes.
Magical dragons led the founding of the country. My human ancestors, the Regarvians, were part of the conquering.
As of
Torgal and
the
his two
story,
dragon pals didn't conquer the whole country alone.
no, but they did swear to them.
That's great, but, you know, do you really still owe oaths of allegiance to a magical dragon that's been secretly making half-breeds and doing magical dragon stuff and breaking oaths? And
Good question, right?
That's a great question. That's laws of feudalism, yes. Laws of this world, it's probably up in the air.
I mean, I don't think you can even say laws of feudalism. There are no contingencies for magical dragons.
No, but you know, like oath are sworn in perpetuity, right?
Sure.
we've had this. This is the Game of Thrones discussion, right? Like, you murdered my grandfather.
That's actually true. That's in the start of the recent season.
Yeah.
What does that mean? Forever? Yeah. Okay, but still, though, the North.
I'm not sure that this is the time to invade Brevoy.
Really? Is there a better time to invade Brevoy?
Yes.
Maybe when less dragons are involved?
Fewer.
The better time.
Thanks, Einhard.
Now it's Game of Thrones.
The better time to invade would be after we have the strength to win the invasion. I believe that solidifying alliances with Pitax and with Mivon will make us make our forces irresistible. Even if Sertova can somehow make an alliance with Orlovsky, they will not have the funding of the church. They will not. So
Swan's going to sit back and be like, "What the fuck?" Basically, be like, "What the fuck?" And he's just like, "We have the power of Pitax with us here now."
You believe that 500 riflemen is the extent of Iravetti's forces?
It's the extent of the forces she's going to be capable of bringing to us in any reasonable amount of time. Iravetti won't even arrive back here until next month. If she takes 6 months to do another round trip, who knows what could happen by then. As for Miven, do you not have faith in Abadar? Can you not call down the titanic powers of God in order to help clear the way here?
A glimpse.
I have faith in our followers.
There's like
I have seen you shatter a castle in an afternoon. Do you truly think that Abadar will not bring down his fist on these loathsome corruption and sweep them aside?
If we wanted to, we could level Brevoy.
Well, I don't want to level Brevoy. I want to rule Brevoy.
Exactly. My faith is not in question. The more it grows, the less there is of me left.
Wait, what?
The God speaks through me. We are not alone.
X-Files theme plays.
Like butter scraped over too much toast, Mr. Frodo.
However,
is Aurelius... Is Abadar in the room here with us now? Can you see him?
It's behind the curtain!
I'm just confused as to what's happening here.
Abadar is with me always.
Well, that's reasonable.
He has been more with me of late. More present, though not always fully making himself known. I still believe that preparation is important. If we are to go to war,
1 month.
we must be ready. You would
I
march
will return
to
to
war in
Miven
midwinter.
In 1 month, winter will end. Spring is coming.
Brace yourselves.
I will go to Miven and gather what support I can. Can I trust in you and Abadar to turn the power of Pitax to our side?
Of course.
Then in 1 month's time, we will march from Restov to restore order and investigate this undead malfeasance. And while we are there, I will gather support in secret for my own eventual conquering of New Stefan and revealing these truths before both God and the people of Brevoy.
As you wish, Your Grace. There is also an ancient artifact that has been revealed to me. It would be worth claiming such a thing before we leave the Southland.
Really? Tell me more.
An ancient weapon. It lies somewhere near here. Abadar has shown us where it is. I may need to get it myself. However, it is possible that there are some among the faithful that could be trusted with such a quest. Once we have Pitax, once we have Mivon, once we have the tools of the faith, then it will be time to march.
Spring is the time to march. If we do not have the weapon by then, we will leave without it. Can I leave this quest to you?
Of course.
Then I have a request. I have been seeking a general for some time, as I'm sure you're aware. Several months. I believe I found someone.
Oh.
A foreigner, but a follower of Abadar. I was wondering if you had heard of this person as well and could give me a helping die on my circus test.
That's a great question.
Beautiful.
So,
well done.
I want to set myself up for a circles roll later that I have aid by having the Prophet of Abadar be like, it's your God-given duty to do this.
Yeah.
Well, then you just need them to help you write up the letter to invite them, right?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'll do what I can.
All right.
Yeah.
Sign my name.
So who is this general and how have you heard of him?
Let's see. This general was a constable, which is how we share a life path setting. Who has the unusual skills of logistics, strategy, and what's the third one? Tactics. She's a foreign crusader general who's been off on some smitingness crusades, investigating things in other lands, and is now returning home to the River Kingdoms that I wish to intercept.
So she's religious.
Yes. Which is why I want to use my church setting in order to call upon her.
Okay. So then she's probably
Some military order.
Is it Iomedae? Which one's the...
Iomedae is the goddess of paladins. Yeah.
Yeah, righteousness and valor. Yeah. Oh, for sure.
And I think her name's probably Constable Mirwin.
Mirwin. Can you
The
write
E
that
is
in?
silent. Yep.
We have long thought that the churches must unite in order to survive what is to come. Just as the gods once united when they cleared out the kingdom of heaven in their great and heavenly crusade, so too must they unite in our crusade on earth. This is a wise choice, brother.
Yep, I thought so. I've been thinking of it for a while.
Yeah.
Well, you write that letter. I guess I'm back on the boat to Miven. Just struts out the room. Einhart!
99.
Meanwhile.
100. Yeah. Meanwhile. Okay. Well, let's do the test then, right? So it's a circles test,
okay.
and you're writing
All right.
it up now, right? Let's not wait around.
So I want to use my 3-die reputation with the church
Mhm.
and my 1-die affiliation with the church.
Wasn't she a faithful of Iomedae?
Right, but we've been talking for a while about how the good churches are kind of relatively pantheonically aligned. Really? You're going to turn this down?
Yeah, that sounds...
Didn't we do this for the Goramites as well?
Yeah, but that was also not doing it right.
I mean, it depends on how the churches work.
I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna let it happen.
Okay. All right. You tell me what I'm rolling then, because I'm getting 5 extra dice.
So yeah.
I'm helping, right?
Yep, that's one of the 5.
Do you want them at any particular time?
So the reason I'm sending this now is so that it won't be important until later, right? Like I'm leaving, and this person will arrive by the time I get back.
Right.
It's almost like I'm trying to make sure I don't get dinged for time
Yeah,
on
so it
the
doesn't
obstacle.
matter. Yeah.
Remember that there is no guarantee when you make circles rolls that a person will show up at your doorstep. It could be that the person returns like, I have found them, sire. You need to go there to see them.
Well, how about this then? How about I make a linked test with composition to do that part of it?
Okay.
Because I'm writing a letter asking for them to come see us, and we'll do the.
That's
the
what I was
normal
expecting.
thing. We'll pay their rider. We'll fly them out. Cool. I'm gonna be making a lot of composition tests today. What would the ob be to write this letter?
I feel like, all right, as a link test, in order to help them, probably an ob 3.
Okay, cool. So for Forks, as a paladin, is this person a does this, and based on what we've established, this person probably cares about defending civilization. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
All right, then I would like to fork civilization-wise. I would like to fork suasion because the crux of the whole thing is like bringing them in to help save humanity.
Sure. So like, I mean, you don't have to like tell us what exactly is said here. But this letter is talking. It's very, it's well flourished with the reasons for like, we us on the edge of civilization have so like need of great protection, and the dangers have never been greater, kind of thing. And
it's similar to why suasion. I'm picturing this as being very much the same way I convinced
the 6.
The Goramites, where it's like sort of like the gods need to unite. This is going to save everybody's souls. This isn't like a time for religious schism. It's a time to unite as the gods have in the past.
Because the apocalypse is here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How long will it take
to compose the letter?
Hmm?
I don't think it's a matter unless he's taking his time.
I mean, getting it to them is probably part of the test.
The getting it to them is probably the circles test.
All right. I mean, yeah, I guess it's not a huge deal. I would also like to fork etiquette because I'm making a request of somebody who has a position within a church and likely a fairly lofty one. And I also have write because I'm writing a letter.
Yep, seems pretty reasonable.
Right, base op 3.
Do you have calligraphy?
No, I don't. But I'm gonna reroll those 6s anyway.
Well, not that it's relevant now, but we should have established a failure consequence.
Well, if it was going to take a longer time, I reduce it anyway.
Well, no, that's good because you got at least 2 successes over it, so you're able to give him a 1 die help on the all circles roll.
Cool.
So what is my circles roll then?
Probably pretty high ob, but we'll see.
6?
5 or 6 makes sense to me.
No, I think the way you were gunning it was going to actually make it 4.
Okay.
You deliberately aim to have someone who's like in a very, very specific same life path set up.
Yep, that's 3 right there.
Boom.
Easy. Okay.
I'll take it.
Yeah. So your letter absolutely gets to Nerwin.
Excellent.
I am going to like have a little tick every time someone mentions that character. Let's be like, Naren? No, okay.
Cool.
I'll give her a first name so that we don't have to refer to her as that. I'll work on it.
Yeah. Makes sense.
All right, I sail off to Miven.
Nice. Okay. What do you want to do over in Miven?
I mean, did we want to check in with the Trader Queen at some point? I mean, in Miven, my job in Miven right now is to prepare to crash the economy if they don't do what I want, and to gather the Miven Foreign Legion. I'm gonna go there and probably do some speechifying and be like, Brevoy needs you! Gondor has lit the beacons!
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, well, we'll cut back over there in a second.
The beacons are lit!
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, can we just... I feel bad because we're jumping over Niran, but we still do... I just want to keep reminding you, I did make a roll for guidance last week that did succeed. So I know where this item is, even if we haven't dealt with it yet.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I added open. It is... Yeah, it's not too far away from here. Let me see if I can bring over the map. Proper. I'll bring us over there too. In the Stolen Lands map. It's here.
Sweet.
Am I on this? Oh, I don't get pulled over because we have GM permissions. Cool.
Dar.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. I have a bunch more letters to write today, but let's jump over to Mason first.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, Mason. What are we doing, my friend?
It's a great question, Eric. So I suppose that, like, in the aftermath of the revelation of last time, now that we are going to conquer Brevoy by force and, you know, do all that funny business, the question, I suppose, becomes, first of all, Pawlowski said that I should not worry about the fact that we could not go and, like, conquer them because we would be crushed, because he had prepared in secret to annex the country. And I want to take stock of those preparations or see if he's talking bullshit. Like, how prepared are we to go and fucking bring the fight to the capital?
Sure. How are you going to do that? How are you going to assess?
I'm just gonna go over the numbers. Be like, oh, okay, we have about like 10,000 bushels of grain less than we should have. That is awful. Like, I'm just gonna ask him and be like, okay, you said we're ready. What do we got? Tell me of, like, this thing that you seem to have planned for. You say you've planned to take the country? Great. Fucking spill.
No, he's laying the groundwork for one. He doesn't have a full-fledged plan.
Oh.
He has a strategy, not a plan.
So it's probably some sort of, like, administration or logistics to see what he actually has in place, right?
So yeah. No, so if he says, like, it was administration, not a plan, then my answer to him would be like, no, I'm not talking about your plan. I'm talking about the preparations you claim to have made. I assume you did not intend to invade the south with whatever you could draw in levies at the last moment. Or did you not have a plan?
If you're asking for... Are you asking the Duke to be like, how much money do you have?
Yeah.
Is that what you're asking him right now?
He is, like, literally, he
I just want to make sure that's your question.
Yeah. He convinced me last session to be like, okay, you should claim the throne. My argument was, no, fuck you. And his counter argument was, no, but I have everything under control. Like, it's planned, it's set up. We can just fucking launch this shit. So now that we're past that conversation and that we follow up, my question to him is, okay, what's that preparation?
You want to see the books?
Yeah,
see if he cooked the books.
I want him to look me in the eye and say, like, I have mustered 5,000 men. And then I'll be like, I have mustered 25 good soldiers. We will impregnate the bitch.
No. Yeah.
Then, okay. Well,
no. Okay. I just wanted to be clear, like what would count and construe as evidence and stuff. And I feel like he won't produce anything written. He will only say something verbally to you.
Yeah, right? Sure. I mean, I wouldn't ask for anything written.
And
his word is good enough.
The combined forces between Medved, Orlovsky, and Goresh, we could muster 55,000 troops.
55,000?
Right? Yeah, that's like the full might of basically the three houses.
I mean,
Cray. I think
you indicated that
that's like everybody
was a shit ton,
right?
It is.
So I want to point out that at the Battle of Cannae, which is like one of the largest battles that the Roman Empire ever fought. They had nowhere near. They probably had somewhere around 75,000 troops. There are claims that they had millions of troops, but the very, very highest numbers that can be verified is somewhere between 100 to 500,000, and even that seems like it's probably overestimated.
I mean, so
this is an enormous number of people.
I want to jump real quick here, Eric. It's super hard for a country to maintain more than 1% of its population as military. It's
standing army. This
isn't a standing army. This is saying they could mustering a full strength of if fielding as many people as possible. That's what we can.
When someone blows the horn, they could show up with that many troops, and it would be devastating to the infrastructure.
Exactly, and no one's farming. It's like this is like every if we like that's our maximum strength, right?
Cool, dig it. All right, so. In that case, so I look to him when he says that. I'm like, how do you reckon? How do you reckon our chances are at making Medved and Gares swear homage to myself?
He looks at you confusingly because, like, don't forget these men are Rogarvian themselves. They're Rosslander blood. They have sworn fealty and oaths to your house.
I agree. But I also know, and so do you, that there are people in this world for whom such claims matters less and less with every generation.
Swan sneezes in an anime cutscene.
Exactly.
I was sorry, Sam asked the question, can you feed an army of that many people? And the answer is you pillage.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify because I'm kind of confused.
Pillaging has been like that's actually how you fed armies forever.
I get that. No, I get that. What's confusing me here is that Swan has been making Ob 12 resource rolls to maintain an army of 3,500.
Yeah, well, he's also paying mercenaries.
No, Swan has not been made tests to maintain his army at all. Swan
he has.
No, we just made test to buy them, and that's it. There's not been a maintenance test for
a year.
There has been a maintenance test.
The reason why he's been having higher costs for that stuff is because it's a contract for a year, and to hire a mercenary company for a year is very, 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 very expensive.
I think you're thinking of the Ob 12 test that AP made when he commissioned 3 palaces and like 12 castles.
No, you're right. I was confused, but he also made an Ob 8 maintenance test in the last maintenance cycle to maintain those.
Yeah, but that's because he maintained a duchy's court, a duke's court.
I want to point out that to move 500 people is like an Ob 8 logistics test for me. Like the logistics test on the 35,000 people is probably going to be like Ob 15 or 16.
Yeah,
it's going to be ridiculous.
So then I'm just confused because it seems like there's a huge disparity in numbers from what we were able to get and what is happening now.
Well, because you're a small quasi city state and not a gigantic.
It's true.
Swan also has
we acquired these things when Swan had a county that's less than the size of a barony.
Don't worry, Sam. We'll just have God smite all the troops.
Look, it's fine. I'm just like
mean,
confused because it seems like there's a huge disparity in numbers between what Swan had to roll for to get like literally less than a tenth of this many people.
Yeah, but that's I suppose that is because of his rank. Like,
yeah, it's
Orlovsky's a duke, right?
Yeah, Orlovsky has probably at least 20 banner. Like, he has 20 swans he could call on.
The question is not where he's getting the people. The question is how he's paying to move them, to arm them, to feed them, to get them into a position where you can actually use them.
With his money?
But that's the same level of resource test.
What?
The ob of a resource test is static. It's not based on how much resources you have. That's how many dice you have.
There's also this other thing where, as an NPC, they do the thing.
That is also true.
I'm just all right. It's fine.
They do the thing because that's what they do. They're a duke.
Right. So So
in fact, it's a trio of dukes who are doing it.
That's true. So I look to him and I say, very well. You've met them before. I've only had the pleasure of making your acquaintance. But never before have I spoken to the Duke of Gareth nor the Duke of Medved. Shall we meet them? Do you think they would agree to a meeting?
He looks at you very concerned and says, I'm afraid a meeting would be out of the question. The Duke's meeting in any sort of way would sure to attract too much attention.
So what do you suppose? Or what do you propose?
I propose that you get your affairs in order, my queen. And so then we can finally begin. Basically, he's afraid of the plans getting out if they start moving around and doing these things. Like, basically, the plans are tentative. To do any sort of formalization of these plans will require, like, there's a chance of being caught. And if you're not ready to go down that road yet, they're not willing to take that risk. Does that make sense?
It does. So I look to him and I say, look, I've agreed to take this country. I will take this country. Now, to do so, we need to take stock of our allies. I want you to send a missive to the people you trust to join you and inform them that you have found the Rogarvian heir and tell them to swear for me. Once we have Gareth and Medved on our side, we'll see what to do then. If we cannot get them to our side, we are going to have to make ready to deal with that. I'm looking for an in here on how I'm going to make these tests, but...
Yeah. He's saying that there... My queen, I will serve you to the end as rightful heir of Rogarvia. However, to not secure the alliance between Medved and House Gares would put us on a defense and not an offensive war.
Yes, well, I shall have to take stock of that situation if and when it happens. Now, here's what I would like you to do. You're in command of your forces, I understand that.
Yeah. The only way we win that war is if we had proper dragons.
I like tilt my head slightly at the implied insult.
No. That's not what... No.
Okay.
He says it in a way that's not an insult, but like, you know, we actually need gigantic lizards, right?
How about this? Stone Climb is very close to your borders, is it not?
Yeah, it's 100 miles north, right?
It's like just south of their borders in Medved country.
Oh yeah, whatever. Sure. It's 100 miles
south. So I want you... How does this sound to you? Spitball with me here. We send missives to Medved and Gareth. They declare for me. If they don't declare for me, we're in trouble. So what we need to do, instead of fortifying our position, is to immediately launch a lightning attack on Stone Climb, seize the Medved family, and claim their territory. from there, we can see what we will do about Gares, and we'll see what we'll do about the North people, the Lobotka.
As soon as you do that, Isian forces would mobilize.
As soon as
the rest of Brevoy will mobilize.
And what will they do if we do nothing?
They won't mobilize.
And then what do you and I do in the meantime? Sit here and wait? You were the one who persuaded me to seize the throne, Powell.
And you're the one who persuaded me that affairs needed to be in order for this to work. You had personal goals to be accomplished.
I remember that. So to clarify that, I did not. I said that I did have something I wanted to do, but I also agreed that we should seize the country now. So I suppose that's the plan.
Okay, I'm sorry. So I'm operating on this thing where you're like, you need to get all these things in order, and he's like, hold on, you said you have to do something, and I need you to be 100% committed on this.
Yeah,
and that's clearly not what's going on right now.
This is the suicide mission at the very end. He's like, are you sure you want to begin? This is the final quest of the game. And you're like, wait, no, I got to go get Garrus. Okay?
Yeah, right exactly.
Back. Yeah. Sorry. Okay. No. That works. That works perfect for me. All right. Yeah. No.
Yeah,
of course. No. Then I'm sorry. He would be less reticent and be more agreeable to you, had I known that's okay. the pretense to this. Sorry. So yeah. I was missing that.
It's all
no
good.
problem.
The deal here is all right. What I want to do. Let's break it down into intent. I want to take contact to Medviet and Garrus and use their like old allegiances with Orlovsky to build like the three duchy super state in this country and be like, okay, now we can strike at whomever we want because now we're biggest.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, I suppose like that's why I actually wanted to stage a meeting, right? Was to be like, and let's have that scene where that conversation happens. But how do we do that if not via conversation?
Composition test.
Composition test is an option. Shall we send them a letter? Is there a member of their family that we could ask to come here and speak on our behalf? Take a message back to their parents.
Is there someone we can trust? Is there someone we can send as an intermediary that we can trust?
Until I met you, my interactions with the nobility of this country had been limited to only the select few. If there are someone, it is someone you know.
Yeah. All right. No, I think Paul would absolutely have someone he could trust to send. Probably like a nephew or something.
All right. So yeah, it's how you that's the plan then.
Like, but he saw all right, and like and as we're writing this letter, this missive, with these words we sign our fates, right?
Basically, that's how it's gonna be, right? Like I'm going
are
to.
You?
To...
Well, I mean, are you going to be explicit? Like, are you going to be implicit about what this meeting's for, or are you just asking to meet with them?
I reckon that.
Or are you not going to meet with them and do it all through correspondence?
I think I'm going to ask Paul, as the person who knows about these people that we're writing to, whether he knows of a way that we could secure their that yes, they would fucking arrive without explicitly being like, we're planning a usurpation. Like, is there a way to do that? If not, then that's the plan, right? We just do what it takes.
Well, I think them's what will convince the Dukes is incontrovertible proof that you are the Rogarvian heir.
Have your scribes copy the volumes I brought you.
How would they know it's not forgery?
They won't, except they will have your word for it. Of course, they'll have to see the originals for themselves and make their own judgments.
Very well. Then that is our approach. Yeah, they basically have to be like, so we found the heir.
Yeah, like I'm now relying on that plan of his. what's so.
Yep.
I hope I'm just Mason is just sitting there waiting to like observe the situation. Right, this is the first play of the game. First piece is being moved. There's a way overdone dramatic shot with like tense music underlying it that has like a close up pan of a chessboard with Mason moving a piece and the music implying that means anything.
So the question isn't whether or not you can write this letter. The question isn't whether or not they believe the letter. The question is whether or not I feel like some spies figure this out and also alert other people. I feel like that's the question, right? Because I feel like this is going to execute regardless. It's just a question of whether or not other people end up getting wind of the plan as well.
Yeah, we could make a roll to see like how
I feel
quickly things get out.
Because things are fictionally, I feel like things are fictionally positioned enough where a roll isn't necessary for this. I feel like everything's been set up enough that as soon as you can write that letter there, and they will be like, "Yeah, we're good." But the question is whether or not someone also reads that letter, or
I have no pretense to this being like the Grand Northern conspiracy. I know this is not something that we can like keep secret forever.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a question of whether they know before or after you start mobilizing your army. Once you start mobilizing 55,000 people, it's
hopefully not
there's literally everyone knows if you are mobilize a 50,000 person army, that's the entire country going to war.
Yeah, it's half the country.
That's the plan right now. Like I'm just like I wait to hear back then in that case from Garrus and Medviet if they will declare for me or not, and if so, then we shall raise our banners and we shall go the fuck to war and control this country.
Yeah. So the question I think is actually an inconspicuous test because you're doing this without notice.
I could see that.
Because like that's the question. You're doing this without drawing notice. Is the question. That's the dramatic question here. Can you secure the allegiances of the dukes without drawing notice from the Sertovas or anyone allied with the Sertovas?
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So the question is, and so the way you do that is through private correspondence and just basically sheer luck. Almost.
Yeah. We need to rely on some measure of luck. I am going to make an inconspicuous test. I will be forking. I will be forking secrets-wise. I will be forking rhetoric to camouflage the wording so as to derive as least amount of notice as possible. And we're just talking about like doing this in a way that attracts the least amount of attention, right? It's not like I'm gonna fork persuasion to see if the no.
And I think this is an ob 3 just by the nature of like if anybody finds this is luck. Nobody's actually like actively looking for like somebody's looking to see if they found that heir yet, like kind of thing. Right?
Yeah.
Like nobody, like there's no like active opposition. This would just be like passive, just people keeping their heads down. Anybody
absolutely
looking at something, picking up any random gossip. So I think it's just a 3.
Falsehood for deception.
Yeah, you said you're camouflaging the language.
All right. So that, and of course, taking our sweet time, and also gauging the omens to see if now is the right time to send the message, or if the omens predict great danger, and so we should send it in a week, aka astrology.
Astrology, yep.
And op 3, swing.
Green.
Whew! Okay, there we go. So in secret, the message travels to Medviet and Garrus.
Yes.
Do we have a time frame for this? Because I also want to know if my edict made it to Skywatch. I know you said it would take about a month.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. At some point, is there like?
I feel like when you're exchanging out the letters, that's also when you get this missive from Sulius Aurelius, right?
Cool.
About Sir Zytomir.
What does it say again, Sam?
It says that Sir Zytomir. It's essentially like a burn notice on Sir Zytomir, right? Yeah. And it basically like demands that he summarily deliver himself to be judged for breaking his oaths and leaving his order.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I feel like Duke, Paul, and you are and Mason I feel like there's probably a question about what to do with this. I feel like the Duke is pretty clear and would want to oblige.
Mm-hmm. So
Sulius, as like his gut would tell him that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, there's a pretty clear implication.
But he would ask. He's going to ask you as queen. What should we have like done? Right.
Bid Sir Saitamir come before us. He's here somewhere in the castle.
I sense the presence of Zytomir around us now. I'll contact him.
Yeah. Right. Of course. Yeah. So
he's
you
with us
him
in this room.
Am I playing Zytomir again?
Sure.
Yeah. If it comes to it, for sure.
Newly mind wiped. Whatever. Yeah. Welcome to the fold. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
We succeeded at a test to change him a bit, but yeah. So yeah, I some valet bid Zytomir come and join Mason.
Yeah, I mean they oblige. And what would you like to say?
Zytomir, behold, a letter has come. It details you. It seems the prophet took your leaving of the order rather badly. He demands that you come south and stand trial.
I figured something like this. Sorry.
What will
Sam?
You do?
What did they do?
Am I okay? He'll say he wants to kill me.
Is that so? Is that the punishment for leaving your order?
The order is a lifetime commitment.
I see. How do you feel about that?
I don't think it matters much how I feel.
I think that's the only thing that matters.
If you want me dead, send me there.
Oh, but I don't want you dead. I want you living. But I'm not going to tell you what you can and can't do. This is your choice to make. You can go south and have this judgment visited upon you. Maybe plead innocence or plead forgiveness. Maybe tell him that he commanded that you not be in his presence ever again, and that you took it as your cue to leave the order. Maybe not. That is for you to decide. If you want me to protect you, ask, and I shall do so, insofar as it suits me. But
you will make an enemy of the Church of Abadar before going to war, just to keep me alive?
Let's be honest here. You know me well enough by now. If you cannot protect yourself in the end, there is nothing I can do that will make any difference. All the same, if you do not wish to go, I will not send you away. Eventually, when the Church of Abadar comes to find you, you can make your decision again then.
This letter is rather... Oh, he can't read.
It's been read to him.
This letter is rather specific that anyone who sees me should attempt to make sure that I make it to them.
That's true. I do appreciate the input of my good friend Aurelius, but I believe he speaks here in his function as the vicar of Abadar, to whom I have no relationship. I don't much care for Abadar or any of the gods. So, you know. I will not deny him. Yeah, go on.
I think that's what changes his mind, because he's still a believer.
Yeah.
And so, like, I think he gets a little bit angry, and he says, if Sulius Aurelius has decided that my actions constitute my leaving of the order, I will deliver myself to be judged, so long as that is what you would like. I serve at your pleasure, my queen.
You're a very good man to say so. But I absolve you of any attachment to me in this decision. This is for you to decide, Zytomir. I have taught you the importance of self-reliance and of wisdom and the nature of strength. You decide if this is a conflict you will test yourself against. Maybe it will break you, maybe it won't. But the choice is yours whether to walk towards it or away from it. This can either be the first of many choices on a new path, or the last. But that is only for Aurelius to know.
I will go to be tried, but I want you to know, as a queen, this is more to do with you than you seem to believe.
I would have you know that if I had anything to say about it, I would not be queen.
Regardless, if you are going to go to war with Brevoy, the House of Abadar is a vital ally. They hold most of the gold in the region.
Until we take it from them. The point is, I don't care much for the gods. And I do not care if they take offense when I say that when it comes to the conquest of Brevoy, I will destroy whoever I must.
That may be true, your grace, if I may. You may not be a fan of the faith, but the people are. Yes. And we need allies.
Yes.
Perhaps sending this man south could be valuable and put us in good faith and favor with those allies to the south.
Perhaps.
We know...
But it seems he is going.
Seems expedient that I go. Seems like the right choice, both for myself and politically. Not that I pretend to understand such things.
Yeah, I go to him and my weird, creepy, draconic claw on his shoulder. And nod to him in appreciation. I'm like, your choice. I'm proud that you made it. Doesn't matter what you had chosen. I would still be proud of you.
If I return, we will speak about your disdain for the gods.
If you return, we will have much more to speak about than that. But yes, I look forward to it. Do give both Swan and Aurelius my greetings.
Yeah, Zinomir held out. He still doesn't have armor, but he's got his axe.
Paul, yeah, he's like the Hound, season 6. I actually have a question. I think Paul has a question about for you, Mason.
Yeah.
My queen.
Yes.
How do you predict our Sertovan prophet to the south will behave once these plans come to light? It is my... The Duke thinks he's Sertovan.
Yeah, I'm just giving you a hard time.
I know, sacrificing a name and, well, when the stakes are this high, I would find it hard to believe that that prophet to the south would side on anyone's but his kin's. And I'm afraid that should that happen, the church will go along with it.
You should not worry about the church. You should worry about Aurelius. There is power in the church and there's power in their bureaucracy. But it is a power protected by the crown. Were we to decide to kill them all, they would all perish. The people would rise up in anger and would themselves be laid low. Their corpse is a reminder for the survivors to obey. The problem is Aurelius. Aurelius is a good man. He's also a slave to his dogma. More importantly, he will not serve the Sertovans in this conflict. There's only one man he may serve, and that is Swan. Ronald Swan, whatever he chooses to do, will manipulate Aurelius to do his bidding. Now, this can go one of two ways. Either Swan, well, one of three, I suppose, but two that matter. Either Swan will assist us, or he will oppose us. It could also be that he chooses to stay out of it, in which case I don't care. But if he opposes us, Aurelius will be the truest test of our valor. If he supports us, Aurelius will be the greatest asset we've known.
Do you think your relationship with the Marquis in Karasuno in the south, the Marquis Swan, do you think there's any way they will side with us?
I don't suppose...
If his Rogarvian brethren side with us?
I predict this going in a couple of ways. I do not foresee Swan bending the knee to me. Swan is a man of pretense. He is an empty bag of air. A man of no morals and no principles, but a man of a biting ambition that he will justify by whatever means he must. This means that if I can offer him something he wants, then he is likely to bite. But if he thinks he can just take it, then maybe not. The thing is, I could tell you that I have saved that man's life more times than I could count on one hand, but I would be lying to you if I said that would matter to him at all. It's all a matter of how these pieces fall.
Yeah, it is my opinion of the man that his ambition always outpaces his grasp. Yet he wins surprisingly far, far more often than he loses. It is my... I concur with you, my queen. I concur that we must be careful. There's nothing we can do to offer anything to Marquis. It must have the appearance. It must be... Our offering must be disguised as something that can be taken. To ally with that man is to herd a cat. It must think it was led there on its own free will. And that is how we can control.
A worthwhile consideration. All right. Is there anything else in the scene other than skipping?
No, he has one
forward?
question. Well, he has one. He has one major question. Is I believe what the Marquis would desire most is to become crown of the Rogarvian lands. Now, obviously, that would befall to you.
Mm-hmm.
How do you see that working out? Basically, he thinks, probably erroneously, right? Because we're talking about this with AP here, right? But Duke Paul believes that all Swan wants is to become head of all the Rogarvian lands and be the major duke, if not run the country himself, right? That's his number one thing he wants. And so if there's some way to make him seem like he's getting that.
Yes. What is my thoughts on that?
Basically, what he's saying, I feel like this is the bait that we can manipulate him with.
Yes, I have already given thoughts to that, and I have two plans. If none of those work, this may come to conflict. In which case, I would prefer to investigate alternative options rather than bloodshed. When everything is said and done, despite the loathing the man may hold for me, I do believe I share a certain bond with him, and I would not want to see him dead.
Right. So...
He's also the brother of my best friend.
So that's what should happen should he not come in on our side to this conflict.
Yes. If he does not come into the conflict on our side, we will have
trap
to bait...
him we'll bait him to the Rogarvian lands and crush him.
Yes.
Right.
Also, just to clarify, because I don't want this to be sprung up on you, unless you specifically say something, Zidimir is not a liar, so he's definitely going to tell...
This conversation is
happening after you left the room.
Leaving the room.
No. I meant about your declaring for the throne.
Yeah,
if
absolutely.
you specifically want him to try to lie about that, you should probably tell him.
Yeah, I think what I will tell him is, so at this point, when Zidimir reaches the south, it will already have been made or broken. We will either have allies and have started the offensive, or we will not have made any allies and started the offensive on those allies to gain their territory. So either way, it's fine. At that point, it will be known to the realm. I actually even think that I would. How does this sound fun to you guys? If I send Sidomir with a message to Aurelius and Swan, being like, "Hi, will you declare for me?"
I'm fine with it.
Reasonable.
Yeah,
see how that goes down.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like there's gonna be, yeah. Okay. I mean, I doubt we're just gonna be like, yes.
Yeah. That makes sense. So that's what the Duke and you, Mason. That's what they were talking about. It's like, how do you think they would receive that letter? Let's talk about contingencies of what would happen. And so that's the word. Okay, cool. And that's what we mulled over. We had some high, weird, tactical things talking about players and their decisions from a weird perspective. But anyways, that was really interesting. Cool. Was there anything we wanted to do? Like, anyone want to do like a shorter scene before we go to our break?
I literally just need to make 2 rolls for compositions. I mean, and the intents are pretty clearly written in my beliefs.
Oh, there.
I would like to declare something. That doesn't have to be a scene. That is, I would like to research a new spell off of the arcane archives of the Skywatch. I would love to start beginning to learn Rain of Fire.
Yeah, it sounds useful.
Would you have to be in Skywatch to do that?
Probably extract the tome from it. Point being that it's not something I would wish to devote a scene to.
You can't read things. I know, but you can't. You would have to go. You would actually have to be in Skywatch to learn it.
That's fine.
There's no way to learn it in any place that's not Skywatch.
So in a year from now, you might be able to.
Yeah. Okay, so you are. Your issue. Is this about your zealot belief? You're writing letters about your zealot belief, Sam?
So I wanted to write a letter to EricVulgaris and a letter and an edict to the church. To the church. The intents are for the EricVulgaris letter. I want to set up a meeting and I want her to be like amenable to it.
Yeah.
And for the church belief is I want them to like actually in earnest start helping me prepare for the end. So that means like when I start requesting money, food, soldiers, etc.
Okay.
That's already in place.
Sure. So these are 2 separate tests, right? Unless you want to combine it all into one.
No, 2 separate writing tests.
Right. Okay.
If you think there needs to be a scene, that's totally fine.
No, we can just do this. These are just to be 2 separate tests. Obviously, the EricVulgaris letter should be pretty easy. I'm looking like an 2 or 3, depending on the how hasteful you need to have to this meeting, right? Like, is this like first thing as soon as you come here, talk to me? Or is this like, hey, when you come here, I really want to talk to you?
I was thinking it would be more like, hey, I'm requesting a meeting with you. I'll come to you.
Okay. Yeah, then that's a low meeting because you're going to go to them and like, sure. Right? So yeah, it's like an op2 composition test.
Alrighty. I would like to fork persuasion because I'm trying to write persuasively.
Yeah.
I would like to fork write.
Seems legit.
And I would like to fork in ugly truth here. I'm like doing this like a little bit. I'm not like being like super obviously like incriminating, but she was supposed to already have been back. Like she's in breach of contract right now.
Yeah, but she also had an excuse.
Yeah.
Okay. If you don't think
also
the owlbear
hunting,
killing an owlbear is her excuse.
All right. In that case, can I do ambition wise, playing off of the ambitions that I know that she has?
Yeah.
From I made an ambition wise test against her a while back.
Yeah.
Cool. That'll be fine. Up 2. Boom. I'll reroll those 6s.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. And now the big one. This one I'm guessing is a little harder, but I'm going to have a lot more dice to throw at it.
Yeah, so this one, so the obstacle of writing to the church and persuading them to listen to you at any point like that, I feel like that's an ob 6 at least, because they are also. I don't see how they're able to listen to. If they do this, other things will break because they have too many plates spinning with all your Brevoyan development stuff. Like, to ask them for any aid seems to be like, how? We don't, our hands are tied doing this.
Like ask them for aid in something specific, right? That would be a good call.
Yeah, asking for you're asking for a blank check, and that's really hard to answer. Like the proper reply would be like, no, tell us specifically what you want, and we can work that out with you. But just having a carte blanche, anything you be prepared to give me anything I ask for is a very hard sell. Does that make sense?
Makes perfect sense. I'm a prophet. I ask for hard things.
I know. Yeah. They'd be like. Yeah, and then your response is, how fucking dare you ask me to specify things? I am the prophet.
Yeah, exactly. I'm the prophet. You'll do as you're told.
Right? No, they're asking for we need an itemized invoice. Right?
Yeah, please tell us to do this specific thing instead.
Yeah.
Sure. So is that the consequence for failure, that they're just gonna be like, no, we need an actual invoice?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can I get help from Gavril? Is he still in town?
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So that's 1 die from him. I would like to fork in Suasion, because by disobeying the prophet, they are putting at risk their mortal souls. I would like to fork in Doctrine, because I'm peppering the letter with specific phrases and things from
Abadarian,
proverbs and whatnot. I would like to fork in Abadar-wise, because I have an intimate understanding of who this letter should go to, who should be mentioned by name,
who's most sympathetic.
Correct. And basically how best to disseminate this amongst the faithful and the bureaucracy.
Okay. I feel like that's stretching Abadar-wise, my dude. That's more bureaucracy-wise or church-wise.
I mean, I have bureaucracy.
Yeah, then you use bureaucracy for it then. But yeah,
Okay.
knowing who it should go to is actually more bureaucracy. That's the definition of bureaucracy.
The scroll has a scroll of people who should read it in a specific order. Send this to this guy on this floor, and then have it stamped in triplicate and sent downstairs.
I'm actually not sure that that's appropriate, because this is an edict. This is essentially the same thing as this is equivalent of
a proclamation.
Yeah, right. This is Martin Luther nailing up his
Sure.
things. It's saying oh, you guys are in violation of your duty to the prophet.
It's more addressed to the whole council, right? That's what you're saying. It's an open
it's addressed
letter.
to the faithful.
It's an open letter. It's
an open letter to the faithful.
It's some guy wearing Krakow's would walk up a step and read it aloud, right?
Yeah.
If you are a member of the faith of Abadar, if you consider yourself to be a true believer, you should listen to this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think Abadar-wise is appropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's see. I need a lot of forks for this, because otherwise I'm really screwed.
You've been forking a lot, so
I heard 4 forks.
I know. I have 5 extra dice because Suasion is at B7, but I'm making a ob6 test, so
we believe. Have faith.
You already heard where the consequence of failure is, right?
Yep.
Okay, just want to make sure.
What's the
does
duration
oratory
of this?
count?
No.
Okay.
How long does this test take?
To completely resolve?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess probably you'll have to hear back from them. So a month to respond, hear back.
Sure.
Cool. Can I lobby for an advantage die, because they really should be listening to the prophet? They all declared that I was the prophet. They made it very clear that I was the prophet. We had an entire duel of wits about me being a prophet.
No, but can you? I think it would be fair to add your affiliation.
Add an advantage die for his affiliation.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes.
And that's same thing.
That's yeah.
Cool. All right. I will spend a point of persona as well.
You got this. Rocket.
So he says.
I'm
No,
gonna
you don't.
roll those 6s.
3 6s. Come on.
Got it.
All right. So there's my blank
Nailed.
check.
Just got it. Barely.
I'll take it. Take what I can get.
Yeah. Good shit. Okay. Then yeah, you'll hear back saying that whatever the prophet asks, the church will deliver, right? And they probably write it back with a couple also, quotes about saying something like offering and, yeah, exactly. Good words and work being rewarded properly. Something like
That's
that.
good,
right?
because if they refused, I was literally going to cause a religious schism. So that's all right. We're good. Okay, that's all I have.
I feel like that's
just 2
probably what the
tests.
church said. Like, do we really at this point want to deal with a schism, or should we just appease this man? And they're like, we should just appease him. Right.
Should we?
Too bad what they don't
yeah.
realize
And-
is that Sulius Aurelius is no mere man.
Yeah.
any
And then,
longer.
yep, cool. All right, now let's go to our second break. I'll be right back. So see you guys in 6 minutes.